Next, we talked to Cynthia Fleischli, the executive director of the Illinois Grape Growers and Vineyards Association, about Illinois' growing wine industry. This runs about 10 minutes.
Cynthia Fleischli, thanks for joining us on the Illinois Channel. As the executive director of the Grape Growers and Vintners Association of Illinois, I think a lot of viewers will know that they've gone out to some local winery. They may not realize the extent to which the Illinois wine industry has been growing. What can you tell us about that growth over about the last 12 to 15 years?
Well, in 1995, we only had 13 wineries, and now Illinois has 108 wineries, and the growth has been completely dependent upon the Illinois Department of Agriculture. They have been so supportive of our industry, and they provided funds for us to do workshops, and we've had individuals decided to invest in their future in Illinois in a winery versus leaving Illinois. Some of our wineries, they actually were factory workers and they were laid off, and they decided at that point, after 26 years in working in Quincy, Illinois, that they might as well invest in a winery at that point. And it was clearly because the state had provided the resources for us to be able to do the workshops, and then they learned that they could do that. So they invested in Illinois as a result of it. And numerous people, a number of people used their retirement money to stay in Illinois directly as a result of those workshops that we did.
That's interesting. And how is that the winery doing, that those people that you mentioned?
They're doing very well. We have we are actually employing over 4,000 people in rural Illinois, and that's incredible because in rural Illinois there are not that many jobs. So without the support of the state, we would not have been able to grow as we have.
And I was going to say, first of all, are you still putting on these workshops if people are hearing this and saying, well, maybe I'd like to know what's involved in starting a winery?
Yes, we are. Fortunately, the state has been very supportive. The Department of Agriculture has been very supportive, and through those grants, we do a series of regional workshops, and the workshops are, again, to help the growers grow grapes better and to do different canopy management, different soils. They're actually infusing nematodes and seeing how the nematodes are moving from one vine to the next. It's incredible. SIU Carbondale is one of our partners, and so is the University of Illinois Extension Office, and they are the ones who are really doing a lot of research for us.
Do you have a top-line number of how much revenue is being produced by the Vintners Association, the winery?
$700 million is our economic impact to Illinois. $700 million.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money. It is, and we haven't grown much since 2012. There were 105 wineries in 2012, and now we have 108. So it's kind of dropping off a little bit.
As far as the level of growth, am I right, or is it just maybe my impression? You have wineries throughout the state, but has most of the growth been in the southern part of the state?
A great amount of the growth is there, but there's been growth in central Illinois and northern Illinois. We have some beautiful award-winning wineries and wines out of the northern part of the state. We've got Galena Cellars, you've got Linford, you've got August Hill, Illinois Sparkling Company, you've got Aqua Viva, there's just a number of Mossbach. There's just a number of wineries up there. And then you have central Illinois, the Land of Lincoln wine trail. You have the Dannenbergers, and you've got West of Wise, and you've got Willow Ridge. Willow Ridge was a centennial farm that he diversified part of his farm, decided to grow grapes as a result of one of these workshops, grew the grapes, and he won Best of Show last year during the wine competition.
And the thing I would say, and the Illinois Channel has gone to southern Illinois and profiled a number about 10 years ago, a number of these wineries as they were starting off. It's not just about giving people something to do on a Saturday, but it is a quality of life in that you have these interesting places to go to, and now there's been such an explosion. You were telling me off camera about what was the one winery where they built like a big cave that you can go in?
Oh, it's Walker's Bluff in Carbondale, Illinois. It has a cave that is it's a wine cave that's monumental, and in the center of the cave it has a huge, it looks like the nights of the round table, and it's a wine tasting area. So the wine master stands in the center, and then there's probably 50 people that can taste wines all around that.
Typically, you pay so much for a glass or something like that, and you sample.
You can sample. Some people don't charge for samples, and some people do. I mean, it's anywhere from $1 for 3 samples to $5 for 3 samples, and then you buy anything after that.
And am I right that a lot of these places will then also have maybe a cheese bar or just things you can eat? So it's a fun way to spend an afternoon, let's say, going out, especially in the beautiful weather in the spring or the fall.
Yes, it is. And a lot of the organizations, they either have a restaurant that they've opened up as a result of the business. They also have entertainment on the weekends. Many of them have entertainment. They'll have artist demonstrations. They'll have paint nights for women and for other people. It's been a booming industry and a very community, family-oriented industry to be a part of.
That's what I was going to say. A lot of these smart communities, the only thing that might have been there is a little mom and pop bar, and now they have something that really changes the social dynamic of what you can do in these small communities, right?
Yes, and I mean the wine drinkers tend to be a little bit, they tend to be more educated and not that those that are involved in the industry are not. It's just that they like to just go and relax, have a good time, listen to music, unwind. In fact, our governor makes it a practice of going to one of the Central Illinois wineries almost on a weekly basis, just so he can get away and have private time.
Now, if someone wants to, you probably have a website and there's probably information, right? Both about maybe some of these classes, but also do you have links to the other wineries so that people, if maybe they're going to Carbondale area, there's going to be a multitude of wineries in that area. They could make their own wine trail, right?
That's exactly right. If you go to www.illinoiswine.com and you can go to the events section, and all of our special events. We have a couple of special, really awesome events coming up. In June 16th and 17th, we have the Ottawa Two Rivers Wine Festival. It's wine and jazz in Ottawa. And then we have the Illinois State Fair Wine Experience. We'll be we'll be in with the craft brewers and the Illinois Products area at the Shed this year. We're going to be a little different than being in the Artisans Building. And then in September, I think it's the 15th and 16th, or 16th and 17th of September, we have a huge festival up in Utica. It's called Vintage Illinois. It looks like Woodstock. I could not believe the number of people. They are lined up from a mile to get into this place, and everybody brings their coolers and their little picnic tables and their lunches, and then they stake out their area and they go around and taste 28 different types of wines, or 28 different types of businesses that have multitude of wines.
And then lastly, the other thing is, I'm sure some of these are attracting people from out of the state, so they're bringing money into the state. What marketing, if any, are you marketing like outside the state? As I was saying, I grew up in the St. Louis area. I just don't, if you're not, are you looking to do that kind of thing to make people more aware of what's going on in Illinois?
We would love to have the opportunity to do that again, but with the state being in the financial situation, the DCEO money that we used to receive, we no longer receive. And without that money, no, we cannot market outside the state. So we're at a disadvantage because, like I had told you off camera, we don't have a funding source that's a permanent funding source. For example, in Missouri, they get 29% of the excise tax. California gets their excise tax. Michigan gets their excise tax. I mean, Iowa gets all of theirs. I mean, those organizations, you can build a business and you can actually help an industry grow and stay in Illinois. But without funds, I mean, everything will go away.
That's another thing that maybe we need to have the lawmakers take a look at, huh?
It would be awesome if they would take a look at it and at least consider it, because these are jobs in rural Illinois that are keeping businesses in Illinois, and it would not have grown from 13 wineries in 1995 to 108 wineries today without that support from the state.
Do you know offhand, we said $700 million as far as revenue being generated. Do you have any number as far as how much tax revenue is now going to the state?
$55 million is what we, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And probably a small fraction of that you could have a marketing budget.
It would be awesome to have that, yes. Yes.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Terry, for the opportunity.